So why do we send our children to classroom environments for school every day? Um, each student learns better with their own kind of learning style. Online learning environments haven't been tested a lot for like primary and secondary education. Uh, Online environments allow you to go to school on your own time and place, and it allows you to stay on track with your own education, so you're not trying to keep up with others. So the first slide is the learning style slide. So the three main learning styles are visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Visual would be like watching somebody fly a kite, and then from watching them, you have enough understanding to be able to fly that kite. Auditory learning style is hearing somebody talk about how to do something and then learning how to do it yourself. Example would be listening to your teacher describe a math problem and then you knowing how to do that. Or listening to an audiobook and learning from that. Kinesthetic is like following along with a video. A good example of that would be to watch a car video of somebody working on a car and following along with the video and learning how to do it as you go along. So trying to learn from other learning styles that aren't your primary learning style can be difficult. I had an example in one of my college classes. I didn't like the learning style or the teaching style of the teacher, so I stopped going to class and I taught myself out of the textbook, and I came back and took the final exam and aced it. Didn't know what the teacher was saying, but the class material went fine. Conventional classrooms have to focus on the slowest learning students, so they can only, as a class, they can only move as fast as the slowest learning student, which can hinder the faster learning students. My second slide is learning ratios. So the classroom environment offers a few hours of shared classroom time a week. If you were to have a question, you would raise your hand and then wait for the teacher to call on you while she comes over and answers your specific question. You have to wait for students that have lots of questions. If somebody's not understanding it, you have to wait for them to learn it until you move on to the next subject. Online classroom environments feel more one-on-one, even though there is only one teacher and multiple students. You ask a question in a forum environment or an email environment and you get an individual response back, so you're not as much focusing on what others are trying to learn. Another benefit of a forum environment is it allows you to ask a question, but even if the teacher doesn't have time to get back to you or hasn't gotten back to you yet, it allows the other students to get back to you. Whereas in a classroom environment, you're not going to raise your hand and wait for another student to call on you. So the learning time and place slide. Conventional classroom means you have to be there. You have to schedule your classes. You have to schedule your work schedule around classes. If plans come up at the last minute and you have class, you can't do those plans or you have to skip class. It just kind of makes it a hassle, just all the scheduling. The other thing you have to do is transport to those classes. So if you live far away from school, you have to drive to those classes at school, costing you time, money, maintenance on your vehicle. Whereas an online learning environment, really flexible scheduling. Most teachers have a couple deadlines throughout the week, so you have to allow yourself to do enough work up until that deadline, but it's very flexible as far as when time of day, night, weekend that you can actually attend and do those kind of learning guidelines. You also don't need to transport to class, which saves you time and money. You can learn on multiple platforms, which I really enjoy. You can learn video, audio, text, digital media, chat room environments, I do a lot of my learning in my classes on my phone or even a tablet at work. A lot of my homework's on my laptop, but it allows you to learn everywhere that you want to, as long as you have internet, or you can even download some stuff and use it when you don't have internet. So it allows you to learn in a more versatile way, more versatile location. So in conclusion, people learn the most effectively in the learning style that they're most comfortable with. So it's easier for them to learn in that style, and it's hard for them to learn in other styles. So it only makes sense to focus on your own learning style and not go to a classroom environment where teachers have to teach in a wide array of learning styles, and just focus on your learning style. Fast and efficient discussions allow you to ask questions and get answers back quickly from either your teacher or your other classmates. You can learn anywhere with online education, which just makes it versatile and more convenient to learn, which I feel like sadly is being convenient to learn makes it a lot easier for a lot more people to go back to school or continue their education. You can also learn at your own pace. So if you're a fast learner, a lot of schools offer like self-paced classes where you can go through the courses and learn everything you need to as fast as you want to. If you're a fast learner, you can get done with a degree in a couple of years. If you're a slow learner, it might take you 5 years, but you're learning everything on your own pace and at your own scale, which just makes it a lot better learning environment for yourself. So that's the end of my speech. Do we have any questions?
Are there any disadvantages of online classes?
Some of the disadvantages to going to school online can be technical difficulties. Rural areas that have slower internet have harder times accessing online material for learning. And the internet can also be very distracting. There's a lot of different web pages and social media and everything else on your computer that can distract you while you're trying to learn. Any other questions?
Are there financial benefits to online education versus a traditional seated setting?
As I stated, there's no transportation costs if you're going to school online. You do need to have internet. Most people already have that. Ebooks are most of the time ebooks are cheaper than regular paperback books or hardcovers. You don't have to schedule around work as much because you can go in the evening or on the weekend when you don't have work.
Do you think that online classes would have a negative impact on peer relationships? You would have like a lack of study groups and whatnot?
There definitely is study groups in the online environment, and also group projects that allow you to get you to know your classmates. You're kind of getting to know them on a different level than in the classroom, but most people in your classes you don't get to know all that well anyways because you're only together for a class. But it's definitely a different kind of relationship, but I feel like you still get to work to groups and communicate with other classmates. All right.